it's Jen and Tammy back with the Woolly Mug Mat series, and I can't believe it, Tammy. I cannot believe I'm actually saying the word October.
It's October.
But I am.
Know. We are.
We started this series back in March, and we've had such a good time. I hope you've had a good time. We love getting feedback from you. Join the conversation. If you have any questions about anything, be sure to leave a comment. We check that daily.
We do.
Several times a day, actually. As always, you need to download 2 pages.
Yes.
You can either do that in the link below if you're watching on the Shabby Fabrics website and you're at the product, or on YouTube in the description box below. You can click on that. It'll jump you to the Shabby Fabrics homepage. At the very bottom, click on free download. You're looking for the Woolly Mug Mat for October, and while you're at it, just get all the other months
get them
too.
all.
Yeah, we're having a great time. Now, we started off last year with the Woolly Mug Rug kits that made 2. And we thought, you know, it'd be fun to do it again. You guys loved it.
They did.
And that's when we came out with the Woolly Mug Mat series. What I love about this is the mug can fit here, the motifs over there. If you actually use this, your coffee's not getting on that very valuable hand-dyed wool.
That's right.
So back in March, Tammy and I went through extensively how to get this to, well, kind of her
stage.
To the stage where it's ready to be embroidered. And that's, as you know, what the difference is every month is really your stitches you're teaching us.
That's
the
right.
thread set is different. So I'm just going to briefly roll through the things they need to get to that stage so that you can teach us some stitching.
I love it.
So once you've got your pages downloaded, one's a layout diagram. One is a tracing diagram. If you're going to be using the heat and bond light or other type of fusible product, you will be using the tracing diagram because it's reverse refusible applique. And we do have the heat and bond light in the smaller packages, only 1.5 yards or 1.25 yards, I believe, isn't there.
It's a nice size package.
It is. Well, this should be easy to do the whole series.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Absolutely.
We also recommend for the oval shape, there's 2 for each project. One to stitch on, and of course all her stitches are back here. We use another piece on the back to cover that all up and do a nice stitch around the edge. We recommend using the cut-right heavy-duty freezer paper that you can just use over and over again. In fact, you can see the kind of, hopefully the overhead camera can see that kind of black. We just keep using the same piece month after month. Iron that down to the wool, cut that out twice for each and peel off. You can just iron that down and it just peels away and you just keep reusing it and reusing it. So I can't say enough about the cut-right freezer paper, not only for this project, but really any applique.
A lot of wool, yeah. I use it all the time.
When I do other types of applique that aren't wool, I use that as well. Just like before, we've used a light box and we're using the now Fusimat, which I absolutely love with wool. It does, like the other applique pressing sheet, the wool sometimes doesn't want to let go. And with the Fusimat, it just releases. It's a fabulous product. So like I said, back in March, we showed you how to use, I think it was probably the Fonz and Porter applique pressing sheet is what we may have had. It's the same process, you're just now using the Fusimat. So you'll go through that and get all of your shapes, kind of like you do your pumpkin ahead of time, you do your kitty ahead of time, and then you are bringing big shapes to your background, putting those down, and now, what do we do then? We've got all of our shapes ironed down.
Everything's on?
Yep.
We're good to go.
Now what do we do, Tammy?
All right. We're going to take a little chenille needle. I like these little chenille needles we have here, and we use the 12-weight cotton. This is silky thread.
I love it.
12-weight cotton, I love it. These little cotton petites are so nice. And we just did a little whip stitch. And so these threads all match. We just whip stitched our little kitty down and you can see the back. Now if you're looking at me and you're saying, there's no way I'm whip stitching all that down. I want to use my machine. Guess what? You still can.
Ding, ding.
This thread goes through your machine. I love that. Yeah. Okay, so once we have all of that done and your whip stitch down like this, then we get to play with the embellishing thread, which is my favorite part, which is the fun, sparkly threads.
Yes. Okay. If it sparkles, I pretty much buy it.
That's right, I buy it too.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, that's true. So something I want to talk to you guys about today is these wonderful ultimate keepers that we just got these in. And I love storing needles in these. I've been carrying projects with me because we have so many projects we're doing. Jen, you're carrying projects as well, I know.
Yep.
This is the best way to keep my needles all together in one place, and I love this. I like to carry pin cushions too, but a pin cushion, sometimes my needles go all the way through and I lose them.
I have lost many needles in the middle of my pincushion.
That's not good. Needles are expensive.
And you can get poked.
Yes.
They can come out the side.
Poked. They do come out.
I love this.
This is so nice. So this is a fun little keeper to keep our needles in. We are using the Shabby Fabrics, the embellishing needles by Primitive Gatherings, and the chenille needles. And I will show you how to do this. So first of all,
yeah, let me get your sheet here because you've
get
got
my paper.
You've got a couple sheets.
I know, I've got
a couple stitches to show us, don't you?
I've got quite. I do. I have a few.
Okay.
And so I've kind of cheated and done a little bit ahead of time on this. You can see that? I know, right?
It's always nice to see where you're going. I always like to see it.
There you go.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, because it's just a basic chain stitch.
It's nice to see it broken down because this looks to me complicated. Hopefully the overhead camera can see this amazing stitch with the orange, and then you kind of just introduce the purple.
That purple.
Okay, so tell us how.
That's the fun part. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit about how to do a chain stitch in case you forgot. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that.
Okay.
Just a couple of them.
All right.
All right? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do after I've marked my line with my white pen, I started with my chain stitch, and I'll show you how to do that again. I'm going to come up, and I'm always going to wrap my thread the same direction, because if you wrap it the opposite direction, it will look different than all of its friends. So pick which way you're going to do a chain stitch and stick with it. So we come down, you're going to wrap it around, pull your thread through, on and on. To end that stitch, I would just take this down, just like that, done, and tie it off. Okay? So now, to come back with the purple, this is called a whipped chain stitch. Okay, so I'm going to use the purple dazzle thread, and I'm going to use my thread magic on this. And I'm actually going to run this thread through here, like this. Perfect. Okay, so to start this stitch, I'm going to come up right here at the top corner of this stitch, right here, because this is where I want my thread to lay over. So I'm going to come up at the top, and now I'm going to turn my needle around and use the blunt end of my needle to do this, because if you use the point, it's going to catch on your stitches. And you're just going to come up around this, like this, back down, and just whip that stitch right on there. How cool is that? I love that. So now when you're going along, if you find that you have one that's loose, these stitches are all loose, and you can easily go back and tighten or loosen the stitches to look however you'd like it to. If you want them a little looser, you can do that. Just like that. Isn't that fun? Okay. All right, so after I finished the whip chain stitch to the end, I came back and I did a chain stitch right around my pumpkin face, just to kind of give him a little definition. And I gave my little kitty a nose, a mouth, little whiskers, and then I just did French knots for his eyes. And I did use a friction pen to mark these with. I just simply marked right in the center of my eye, give myself a target when you're making a French knot.
Right.
That's usually easier than just trying to wing it, right? And I did just draw a little triangle nose on him, a little face. It's very easy. And if you don't like what you drew, go iron it and start over.
Exactly.
Right?
If those stitches are new to people, now our goal with each video is you're introducing new stitches
new stitch.
as well as doing
Correct.
stitches that were taught in previous videos.
Right.
So if those are new stitches to you, go back and watch some of our previous Woolly Mug Mat
Absolutely.
videos. And of course the book here has
It's wonderful.
step-by-step instructions, and on the download we can tell you what page you can refer
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
and that's for left and right-handed too. So
Yep.
you lefties out there,
Perfect.
I bet that's a left-handed author.
It could be, and that's why they're in there. Yeah, it was really smart of her to do that.
So,
So after you get all your stitches on there, I'm going to take an iron
okay,
and my wool pressing mat. We're going to turn upside down and just lay that on there and just steam it. I give it a bunch of steam. Oh, that's perfect. Yep. It takes away all your friction marks, all your marks that you put on there. It just gives everything a good press.
it's very satisfying to steam something. Why is that?
I don't know.
know.
Quilters like steam. We like steam.
It just is.
Good. All right. And then when we peel it off the mat, you can see my stitches are still dimensional.
That's what this mat does.
I love this mat.
This
Yeah.
I never really understood the value of the wool kind of
wool
dense mat
Yeah.
until I started doing it in conjunction with hand embroidery.
Yeah.
Because when I do it at home, I mean, my stitches are like flattened.
Because you're on your ironing board.
Exactly.
Yes, not on your wool mat.
No.
We need to get you one of these to take home, Miss Jen. I can do that.
I would like one of these at home.
We'll do that.
A lot.
Okay.
Fantastic. And
All
then
right.
then we would put the back
Yes,
on.
we put the back on.
Okay.
And I just wonder clip mine on there.
Okay.
I don't use fusible. I don't use anything like that. I simply set it on here and I just start wonder clipping it. And then I just do a blanket stitch
All the way
around it to finish it.
So cute.
Yeah. Super easy.
Are you already working on the November project?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I have a feeling with
it's good.
the rate that time is passing, we'll be
We'll
back.
be back in no time.
Exactly.
That's
See you
right.
then.